number one stage of, preparing a presentation is preparation and planning, okay? Because fail to plan, plan to fail. You need to be focusing on how to plan your message. And that really relates back to choosing your goal of your presentation. All right, where is your audience now? That's the problem. And where do you want them to go? Your solution. And you're going to find a way for them to get there. And to do that, you really need to set up an outline. Okay, you have your intro, you have your body, and your conclusion. And there will be headings and subheadings that kind of focus on key points. Okay, and one way to really keep your head around it and make sure that you don't lose your audience, remember those navigation and direction slides and transitions, is to use an outline within PowerPoint. Okay, so there's a function where you can create sections. And if you should have this open, this PowerPoint practice that I've created for you. And the first step that I want you to get practice with is creating sections based on contents. Okay, so we have 4 contents in that PowerPoint. Okay, so let me just open it up. This is the PowerPoint. And you can see there's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And it's kind of a mess. I have to really scroll through it to find it. And, if this got bigger, it would even be more distracting. So one way that you can help organize it is to create sections. And to do that, you just simply click in between the slides where you want the section to be. So you can click in between like this. I want it to be right here where the section starts. And I'm going to click Add Section. And it's going to let me name it. So I'm going to call this Preparation. And I'm going to do it here. Design. Okay. And scroll down. One more. Movement. And the final one, which was efficiency. Okay, what does that do? I can rename this one my intro slide. What does that do? Well, if I right click on one of these, first of all, I can go, close it like this. If I right click, I can say collapse all or expand all. So that's pretty nice. Why would that be nice? Well, I'll tell you, if I collapse all, I can see my outline right here. Okay, it helps me stay organized. If I want to put a new section in between, then it's really easy for me to do so. I can also decide, you know what, I think it makes more sense to talk about movement before design. So let me just click that and drag it. And that will move all the slides in movement above design. Okay, so that's now there. And I can, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Just move it back. All right, so that's pretty nice to be able to do. You could also have only one open at a time. I only want to look at my preparation slides, and it just keeps you organized. Okay, so let's continue. That's one thing that you should learn how to do to keep your navigation going. The other thing that you can do is create an outline using SmartArt. Okay, and I showed you that with this perception process example. Instead of having the bullet points, you can have the process shown at the top and have this highlighting going on to really distinguish between each step so the audience doesn't get lost. So let's go ahead and practice that. Let me see. So if we open up our slide here, it says using the bullet points below, create a SmartArt table that can be used as an outline, make one slide per heading. Okay, so if I press, what is it? I can make a new slide, kind of like, if I just press Control D, it will make this exact slide over again. So that's what I'm going to do for right now. What I want to do is delete all of this because I'm not going to use that. And I'm going to click Insert and SmartArt. Okay. And you'll see that there are several different options for SmartArt. If you've never used SmartArt before, please go in and practice with it. It's very, very nice. A lot of options to make really nice images and be creative. Okay, so the one that I had created was something like this. So I can move that, make it kind of up at the top as my title. And I would say exposure. attention, interpretation. Just press delete, delete, and it will close it like that. Okay, so that's pretty good. What I want to do though is duplicate that. So I press Control D, Control D. Okay, so on my first slide, I want the attention to be on exposure. So to do that, I'm going to want to change the colors here. So I'm going to right click and format shape. Okay, and here I have transparency option, so I could just make it, you know, try and play around with it. 50%, I can hold on to both of these and say 50% transparency, right? Or 60%, let's see, 70, so something like that. Looks pretty good. You can still see it, but the emphasis is on exposure, okay? So I want to do the same thing over here. Now exposure would be 50 and interpretation, actually I think it was 70 I said. And the final one, this would be 70% transparency, okay? And so what happens is, as we click through, the audience is now looking where you want them to, okay? Same thing if we wanted the subheading, we just put it underneath. Okay, so let's continue to our slide. And I'm losing my place, I'm sorry. I don't usually have two PowerPoints open. Okay, another really cool thing is to use the zoom feature. Okay, so your book talks about using Prezi and how Prezi is really amazing and can be exciting. But as I said, I haven't really seen an amazing Prezi. The other thing is that you can actually do what Prezi does in PowerPoint now that it has the zoom feature. Okay, so what's really cool about that is you can make your PowerPoint clickable. You can have, you know, like this, what would you like me to talk about today? And you have these buttons, about each main topic, and you can click on it. And it can go to that point in the presentation for your audience. So let me kind of show you what I mean. This could look like a Prezi, you know, you have that whole image, the whole whiteboard showing, and you say, let's talk about what? Okay, let's click here and zoom in. We're going to talk about preparing and finding your template. Go back out and let's see zoom in action. Okay, and I can click into, these are all clickable. I could ask you, what do you want to talk about today? Let's see, what is the most important? Or I can just click here and it will go to the next slide, which is what I've set it up to be. Okay, so it can be like this, and I can go back and I can click on anything I want. So how is that possible? How do you do that? Well, let me just show you. If we have our presentation here, okay, and what you have to do is you have to actually create those sections for it to work. Okay, so I'm going to click right here after my intro slide. I want to put in insert and zoom. Okay, and I want, there's 3 different kinds you could do, so play around with them. But the one that I was showing you was a summary zoom. Okay, and it will have, you could choose any slides you want, but it's usually going to be the summary, which is the main sections. So I don't need my title slide, I only need the ones that are my main points. So I'm going to, they're already selected, I'm going to click insert. And now this is going to be clickable. Okay, so if I show that to you, I can now jump to design 2, and it will be design 2 points. Or, I see it already brought me down there. Or I could jump here, go back, jump here, okay, go back. So it's pretty neat. You know, it's kind of like what the other different online nonlinear presentation softwares are doing. So PowerPoint has really added a nice touch with this zoom feature. And if you don't see it on your PowerPoint, it's because you're not using the Office 365. But that should be free with your student account. So go ahead and open the Office 365 PowerPoint.